One of the great pleasures of owning a gun shop and having people coming in all the time is the unusual things that we see. And I really enjoy the air rifles that come in. There's a constant stream of different air rifles. And this one popped up a few days ago. And the lady didn't know anything about it. It was very rusty and covered in sort of dirt on the frame. So my gunsmith has cleaned this up. Now, I've never seen one of these before. And it is a Baikal out of Russia. And we've looked for the serial of the model number on this gun. And the only thing we can see is a PC on the side of it and a serial number and 177. There's nothing else. So if any of you can shed a light on this little, very unusual, well, it's unusual in my eyes, but maybe there's loads of them around somewhere, probably in Eastern Europe, this little 177, then we'd be very interested to hear about it. So let's have a look at it. Plastic stock, okay, what looks like a match trigger. Now, this trigger, how adjustable is that? Yeah, it's got a couple of adjustment screws here, so possibly it is quite adjustable. It looks like this is broken at some point. There was obviously an end cap on there at one point. Okay, this is a side lever, so it's a fixed barrel side lever air weapon, and we're going to show you how that works in a minute. The stock here, no recoil pad to speak of, just a bit of plastic with the grips on it. Let's have a look at this. This comes off here. Okay, so that slides off. Basically, you can take that off, I guess, and well, you can disassemble the end of the chamber here, the piston, I guess with that, and then this just slides on the end, and this little screw goes in there somewhere. And so what you can do with that, once you've got that back in, you can actually adjust the stock to where you want it, which is, for a gun that probably costs, I don't know, not a lot of money, pretty funky. What else have we got? Now the trigger is very much over to the right-hand side for the right-hand side shooter. It's right across here with there's a very wide trigger guard. I don't know if you can see that. And so the trigger is right over here. So very much this is for right-hand shooter, which of course also is a right-handed side lever. Right, this here is your loading port here for your pellet. And this is your little pin and locking pin there that pushes the pellet in, okay, and then that locks there. The side lever has a little safety in here, okay, and you can't open it without pushing that safety. You push that down, and then the safety comes out, and that cranks the spring. Now, this here, this lug, is actually a safety, so we can push that down. That opens the port, and we can't engage, push the under lever all the way back in unless we now lift up this safety. Okay, we'll look at the barrel. It's got, the sights. It's got the open sights which are fully adjustable left and right, up and down. Very nice. We haven't touched these. I'm going to shoot this thing, see if I can get a grouping, but we're not going to mess with the sights too much. Quite nice. That's got a very nice sort of, it clicks into place. Very nice feeling on that. And this little plate here can move left and right for that. Now on the front sights, very interesting. One of the things I'm always complaining about air guns is these enormous front sights that make accurate shooting, especially on the lower end rifles, that make accurate shooting really difficult. And this gun has this very fine little sight. Very interesting. So I've never fired this. We just got it in. The gunsmith just cleaned it up. He says it works. That doesn't always mean it works, but we will give this a go and see if we can get a nice little group out of this very interesting little Baikal. If anyone knows the age of these things, we'd be interested to know. Right, let's give it a go. Right, the pellets we're using are Air Arms 177, made by RWS. We love these pellets, they're very nice. But all RWS pellets are very nice. I know they make for a few different companies, brand under a few different labels, but very, very, very nice pellets. These are Diablo Field. Right, let's give this a go. So with this gun, what we can do is we can cock it, then put a pellet on, and we can put a pellet in and then cock it. What I would always recommend with this type of gun is to cock it first, okay, like that, right, and then we put the pellet in. So we're only really loading a pellet when the gun is ready to be used, because that just means if you were cocking it and it went off accidentally, there's nothing in it. So it's easier to keep it safe like that. So we're going to push that forward, and that loads the pellet. Right, throw some goggles on, and we're at 10 yards here. And yeah, 10 yards, freehand, let's see how we go. Well, that is very surprising. That's my first shot with this weapon, and I'll tell you what, the trigger is lovely. It's unbelievable. It's almost match grade trigger on what I presume is a $60 air rifle. If these are still made, or if we can find a price of them, we'll post it at the bottom of the screen. I don't know, I've never seen one before, first one ever. So I'll quickly have a look where that went, and then I can adjust accordingly. This air rifle weighs only maybe 3 pounds. We'll post the weight at the bottom. It is really, really light. The trigger is just fantastic. I'll tell you what, I think this is fantastic. This is one of the nicest junior air rifles I've ever shot. And the trigger is fantastic, really amazing. So the trigger is 2-stage. There's not much weight pull difference in them. The first one maybe has a 3 or 4 mil pull. You do feel it, and then it just comes, you just feel it come back a little bit heavier, and she fires. What a trigger, fantastic. Right, here we go, let's go. 6 shots quickly. So what we're finding is this little safety, when you open it and the gun's up like this, it actually just falls into place. So it actually stops you closing it unless you lift that up. Originally, I said that you had the option, so that actually just falls into place, which is quite an interesting safety feature, really. That might have been a bit low. Right, we've put 6 or 7 down range. Let's go and have a look at how we did. That's amazing. I've been complaining a lot about the junior air rifles that we find with these enormous front sights that obscure the bloody target at 10 yards. Horrible things. This little Baikal has a minuscule little wire front sight with a little pyramid shape in the middle like that. And it's got wire and this little V and inverted V. And it allows you to shoot really accurately. Now, what's happened is, so we're aiming for here. Yeah, we haven't touched the sights, haven't adjusted this gun at all. But look at that, that's 6 or 7 in there, grouping of maybe 1 inch, maybe just under 1 inch, 2 centimeters. The trigger is fabulous. And out of all the little junior guns, this is way, way, way better than anything we've tested up to now. Better than the Hassan, better than the Crossman, better than the Gamma. I love this gun. I absolutely love this gun, but I've never seen one before, and I'm guessing they're not made anymore. Maybe they are, and we'll try and find out. If you do know anything about this gun, please post it in the comments. Thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed the range.